Bills and Ravens, you knew that was going to be the old Donnybrook. Ravens really took it to the Bills early on. And just when you thought maybe the Bills would have a hangover from the previous week where they played a de facto playoff game, 100-degree weather with 100% humidity in Miami, right? They put their foot down and came back and won that football game. Now then, there's lots in between those lines I just said, don't you think? Yeah. Lots between those lines, which is the way the Bills came back and had a chance to win it. The Ravens, man, 4th and goal. 4th and short. Right on the doorstep. They could have Justin Tucker.
He's pretty good.
He's a gimme from like 50. So a gimme from, inside the red zone. That's 3 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
Problem is if you get the 3 points, are you going to stop Buffalo from even getting into the spot to kick a field goal? Now you're forcing overtime on a defense that you've got to sit there and wonder, do they have it? Because the Bills started getting some momentum. And perhaps what happened against the Dolphins is in the back of John Harbaugh's head screaming at him. And maybe after that fourth quarter against the Dolphins, last time they were in the bank 2 weeks before, it's just like he walked out of there, we're not going to do that again. If I'm going to leave it up, I'm going to leave it in Lamar's hands. Lamar. That's who I'm going to leave it in. If I have a chance to leave it in Lamar's hands and feet, I'm going to leave it in that spot. He's our MVP. And they dialed up a play, by the way, with an easy gimme touchdown. Problem is Lamar is after the game, when he was asked, what did you see on that play? And he didn't see, I think it was Bateman wide open in the end zone. And he said he saw a huge defender with his arms up right at him. I mean, he didn't see it. And problem is he threw it in the end zone. Jordan Poyer picks it off. So even if that's part of the equation for going for it, you don't make it, the Bills are right on the shadow of their own goal line. So maybe you get it back, you play defense because the Bills are under duress. Then you can have Justin Tucker kick the game winner. You get the chance to just wind the clock down. And then Tucker kicks the game winner. Problem is there was an interception. And that's the worst result. No points, and also the field position. Right. You don't get no goal line shadow. Bills march down the field with the help of one of the worst roughing the passer calls of the year, if not the worst to date. I don't know what Jerome Boger was looking at. Wow. And we can place that aside for the moment, other than the fact that I think this stuff should be reviewable. And the league office has everybody in that Art McNally Center, and they could see that wasn't the proper call. Just get in the guy's ear and just say, pick the flag up, Jerome. But I don't believe that's legal yet. The competition committee should make that a legal
what's the point?
Situation. So that was an extra help. And, of course, the Bills win the football game. And now everybody turns to the head coach and John Harbaugh afterwards and say, what were you thinking?
Well, I felt like it gave us the best chance to win the game. Because 7, the worst that happens is if they go down the field and score, and I think we'll get them stopped. But if they go down the field and score a touchdown, the worst thing that can happen is that you're in overtime. But you kick a field goal there, now it's not a 3-down game anymore, it's a 4-down game. And you're putting them out there, you're putting your defense at a disadvantage because they've got 4 downs to convert all the way down the field. And a chance to, again, score 7, and then you lose the game on a touchdown. So then the other thing, you think you're going to get the ball at the 2-yard line. So I'm very confident in our defense's ability to stop them down there with the ball on the 2-yard line. So we got them backed up if we don't get it. Didn't turn out that way, unfortunately, and we lost the game. So hindsight, you could take the points. But if you look at it analytically, I understand why we did it.
So my only response to that would be, it's still, if you kick the field goal, it's still a 4-down offensive situation, I would think. The Bills are going to go for it.
Unless they're in field goal range.
I guess they would have maybe punted on their side of the field and played a little bit of defense, but I don't think the clock was in their favor at that point in time anyway. That it's still a 4-down situation, most likely for them to get into field goal range. Look, I totally understand that he's got a defense that he probably doesn't want to play overtime with. And you got Lamar right on the doorstep, and you got a play call that worked, except he got rushed, and then he threw it in the end zone. That got intercepted. But it's also a very tough situation for him. And look, he's been there forever. I wish I had a GoPro, if there was a GoPro on, Steve Bisciotti, front of the program, in his suite, sitting up there with his buddies watching this game as they went for it and then they lost. I'm sure it wasn't a pleasant moment. But, Harbaugh, that's what, to Bisciotti's credit, Harbaugh has the latitude to make a call like that and not worry about his gig, where other coaches might have the seat turned up hotter. But Marcus Peters was livid. Cornerback needed to be held back by a defensive assistant, I assume it was, throwing his helmet. After the game, Harbaugh said, "We're cool," or at least I think we are, is what he said. And he loves Peters' fire and whatnot. But that's the problem, is you've now looked at your defense, and the defense could easily take from this, "You don't believe in us." Because it's much easier to do the Harbaugh chant of who's got it better than us, nobody, than who does math better than us, nobody. Because that's the analytics. It's just like, hey, we had a 69% chance of winning if we went with the field goal, and a 75% chance of winning if we went for the touchdown, and that's a 6% chance of winning. I'm going to go with the 6% chance if I got an MVP on the 1 yard line. That's tough to go. When it's just like, okay, you kick the three, play defense, and you win the football game. Problem is that they haven't been able to play defense in the fourth quarter. Twice now at home.
Or have a better play call. Like, why is Lamar rolling?
The play call worked. The play call worked. The guy was wide open in the end zone. It's just that he
threw a pick.
Well, because he got rushed right away. If they blocked a little better up front. Or I don't think the play call was the issue. The issue was if he had thrown it out of the back of the end zone, it would have still been better for them than to give the ball on the 20.
Right.
Was it the 20? Yeah, the 20 or 25. Look, man, they're 2-2, and that's, how about this in the AFC North? Bengals, once upon a time, 0-2, now 2-2. Ravens now 2-2. Browns lose in Atlanta. They're 2-2. Bengals are out of the basement. They're out of jail. That 0-2 start was supposed to be the killer. Now, Sunday night, the Bengals go to Baltimore, and it's now Joe Burrow against the team who he put 500 up last December. This division is wide open.
Playoffs start today. Bengals in, Ravens out.
Oh, ridiculous.